Hey Flosstube friend, it's Mary, Daydream Stitcher here. I wanted to come and show you some of my Christmas stitching. This is my channel about my addiction to cross stitch. Who are we kidding? I am addicted and I admit it. So thank you for stopping by. Thank you to all that have left comments in my last couple of videos, all of my videos, and I'm ready to just get right into the stitching. So let's do it. So the first thing I want to show you is something that you very rarely see on my channel, and that is a fully finished object, FFO. Can you believe it? I did a thing. Is she beautiful or what? I just love her. So I finished Medieval Lady by Joan Elliott in July of 2019, a year and a half ago. And she's been sitting in my box, and I've had this frame in my closet that I purchased at the same time because I thought I would go ahead and frame her. Well, I wanted to get her professionally framed. I wasn't too sure about this, and so I put it off. And lo and behold, I decided a couple of weeks ago I was going through my closet and decluttering, and I found this frame, and it still had the original pictures. I had gotten it at Michael's. And I decided to play around with it, and this is what happened, and I'm really, really glad. I'm holding her at an angle because of the glare, but I think you can get a pretty good picture, a pretty good idea of her. Her colors are actually very deep and very bright, vibrant, rich. The camera's kind of washing her out a little bit, but this is an 11 by 14 opening. The frame itself is 16 by 20, and it has a double mat. This is like a plastic kind of like spacer, I guess. So the beads are not crushed. That was my main concern with this. And it's stitched on 32 count Lugana by Under the Sea Fabrics in Avalon, which is a really pretty blue, pink, yellow kind of combination. So yeah, she just needs to be hung up. And for right now, I just have her propped on my bookcase and on the top of my bookcase, and I'm really happy with her. I really love her. She's one of my favorite projects that I've ever done. I haven't really framed a lot, I guess, because I haven't finished that much, but I used to finish a lot back in the 90s and 2000s. I don't know, is that the early 2000s. I actually finished a lot of things, and I framed them all myself. I never had them done professionally, and I always used the sticky mount board, and they've held up really well so far, over 20 years, 30 years, and they look okay still. But I really didn't want to use sticky board with that piece. So we'll see. I could still take her out and get her professionally framed. I followed tutorials. I don't know if I mentioned this because I've tried to film this video a couple times. Noise pollution is a real thing, I've discovered. So hopefully we won't have too much this time. Anyway, I followed tutorials from Heather McLean on Instagram and Lindy Stitches on her lacing video. And between the two of them, I was able to pretty much get through it. Heather is actually, she's not, I don't think officially on YouTube Flosstube, but she posts wonderful tutorials and Stitch With Me videos on Instagram, Heather McLean. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And she's actually local to me. She's about an hour away from me, and I would hope to meet her one day. There's a store that we have both been in, so that's something. I just realized I have this thing doubled up. So I have some Christmas stitching to show. It's the point of this video. But first I'm going to show some non-Christmas stitching that I've done, my whip this week, that I have been working on. If I can get myself situated here. I'm going to show you my long dog sampler. So here is my long dog. Straighten her up. Oops, wrong direction. She's not ironed. But here she is. There goes another airplane. I've had more air traffic over this house this evening since I started trying to film this. I don't normally have that much. I don't know what's going on. It's like they're having a convention or something. So this is Pavane for These Times by Long Dog Samplers. I started this in July. It looks like I will not make a 2020 finish. No surprise there. But I have made pretty good progress on it. The last time you saw it, I think I was working over here on this side. And now I worked on these pages down here. I'm putting these in, and this motif, which I love this motif. If I can get that in there. I really like that. I think that's super fun. I think it's supposed to be a candle, so I really like it. It's really cute. I just love the different modern ways of interpreting things like the flowers, and I'm just loving it. This is my first design of this type, and so it's new to me, and I'm really enjoying it and appreciating something that I never really had taken the extra time or the time at all to really look at and appreciate. So it's really fun, and I find that things come out in the stitching that I didn't notice in the pattern. Like there were some birds in here, I think I mentioned in one video, where I didn't see the birds as I was stitching them until after I stitched them. So that's fun. So, and this is on a silk weaver called Purple Petunia. It's a 32 count Wexford linen, which is wonderful to work on. It was my first piece of hand-dyed fabric. It's been in my stash for many a year, and I finally found the perfect piece for it. This is Silks for You in 152, which is actually a teal and a purple, and I know my camera is not picking that up very well. It's looking rather green. Yeah, and I think on this, with this lighting, because it is dark outside now, with this lighting you can see the differences. I mentioned that in my last video that my skeins are different. The hand dyed, it's the risk you run, I guess. And I ordered them all at the same time, but apparently they're different dye lots. So be aware. I should have done the whole hank and just been, good with it. So these are from like two or three skeins, three that are very similar. And then these ones were a new skein. And so these were more muted, and these are brighter and more vibrant and bolder. And so I think there's an obvious difference, but maybe when I get it all filled in that maybe it won't be. I don't know, but I still love it. So that is Pavane for These Times by Long Dog Samplers. I'm trying to hold up my pieces and show them a little bit longer, because sometimes when I watch my other videos back, I feel like I sort of just like hold it up, or I'm moving it around, and so I'm really trying not to do that too much, because I don't mean to do that, but that's what I do. Okay, a couple Christmas starts. I was all about the Christmas starts this year. Starting all the Christmas things all the time. No ironing, no prep work. You know how I roll. So this is the first one I'm going to show you. This is Milk and Cookies. This one I'm going to finish. I am determined to finish this by Christmas. It's not difficult. This is only a few hours of stitching. So here is Milk and Cookies. North Pole Milk and Cookies. It will say Baking Santa's favorite since, and then it has a year. And on the pattern it says 1943. I saw in some of the other finishes that some people put another year, which I'm guessing is their birth year, or obviously a significant year. Could be an anniversary year. And so I haven't decided. I love the idea of doing 1943 because it's really, like vintagey. I debated doing my birth year. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you would do. I'll probably go with the 1943 at this point, but I'm going to save that till last so I don't have to make the decision right away. This is an Etsy designer, and I will get this ironed hopefully in the next video so you will see it a little bit better. When I say finished, I mean finished stitching, and then I'll try to finish it next year. I can't decide quite how I want to do that yet. I want to learn how to do those nifty kind of finishes, or people get things from Hobby Lobby and turn them around, and I don't shop at Hobby Lobby, but that's okay. I'll find the similar kind of things and do something cool, I hope. Learn how to do something cool. That's a goal for 2021. This is an Etsy designer that is called Spooky and Steve, and she's got really cute designs, both Christmas, Halloween, a lot of words. I have discovered I love stitching words. I really love it. I love seeing the words come to life, so to speak. And this is on a Wickelt, I hope I'm saying that right, linen. It's a 32 count also, and it's a rainy, stormy name. I don't have, it wasn't in his package. It was in my stash and out of the package. So I don't remember exactly what the name is offhand. I do wish in hindsight that I had started this on a white, like on the model, but I didn't have any white in my stash. I don't typically just buy, I don't typically just buy white, and I'm realizing I should have. You always need a good white or cream in your stash. So I will be getting on that and making sure I have that. So this is like a light blue, but I guess it works maybe for wintry theme. And I actually enjoy stitching on this. I wasn't sure if I would because it is so stiff and it's so different than the others. And by the way, speaking of linen, what is the difference between Wexford linen and Belfast linen? Because I don't know. And I need to look that up, but I'm thinking somebody out there knows. And I would love to hear from you what the difference is, because the two silk weavers that I'm stitching on, I love them. They are a dream to stitch on. The Long Dog Sampler is on a silk weaver, and the My Nativity is on silk weaver. Those are the only two I've stitched on from silk weaver so far. And they are just like butter. And they're both Wexford linen. And so I don't know if it's that, or if it's that they're silk weaver, or a combination. Obviously Belfast linen is, in my experience, not quite so soft and silky. So I'm interested to see what that is all about. Here's some more Christmas stitching. I placed a couple orders with Lindy Stitches. I placed one order that I have been wanting to order for a long time, since she came out at Galleria with her Galleria release, I guess, the Mary Mary Needleworker. I finally placed my order, and I decided to go through Lindy Stitches directly. And the very next day, after I ordered it and paid for it, she came out with her new release for the Christmas ornaments, Cats Love Christmas. So of course I had to turn around and order that. And I was like, whoa, I had to do it the night before. So I got a couple goodies from her, and I don't actually, okay. So here's where I've gotten on the Christmas ornament, Cats Love Christmas. This is the Called For Weeks Dye Works, and this is garnet. That's all I have stitched so far is the garnet, and it's on my Crew Snap Crooked. I mean, what else would you expect from me? And the Called For fabric was mint from Picture This Plus, which is difficult to get right now, as many of you know. So I ordered Glacier from 123 Stitch, and I think it's the perfect color for it. So this is Glacier, and this is actually a 28 count. I probably, knowing now this size, I probably could have gotten away with the 32, which is my favorite, because it's going to be a pretty big ornament. There's kitty cats along here, and more border and ornaments. Anyway, so that's cute. And I'm trying to decide if I want to stitch it as is, or if I want to try to adapt the colors of the cats we have, because we have 4 cats, and they're different colors. So, and then my last Christmas winter to show you, I'm calling it winter because I'm going to stitch it past Christmas, I hope, is the giveaway that I did a few videos ago for A Kiss for Snowman. It's a Dimensions kit, and I really just pulled it out as something to do as a giveaway, and I gave away a second one. I didn't give away my kit, and right away after I showed that, I saw that Tina on Fancy Lady Cross Stitch, that she actually was getting ready to start it. She mentioned that Dina from Half Cross Stitch stitched it. So of course I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta open it, I gotta start it. I want to stitch along with her, because she's one of my favorites too. I have so many favorites. I love Flosstube. So yeah, so I will show you where I have gotten on my snowman, and I apologize for the state of the thing. This is just my stitching style. I've got threads everywhere. Here's my snowman. I love him. He's so cute and friendly and lovely. And I know that Tina mentioned when she started that a lot of this white, or all of the white actually, is not stitched. It's just the blank fabric. And yikes. that needs the board behind it, doesn't it? And so, how's that? And so the shading is amazing though. I just love the shading. I think the shading is awesomonious and I am all about it. This is on an 18 count Ada, which I wanted to mention, and I need to check, I'm sorry. I need to check my, okay. I was gonna go off on a tangent on the Ada cloth, but I'll just make it brief and say that, you know, Jean Farish has come on Flosstube. She has been a counter cross stitch designer for many a year. I remember her name actually, and from back in the day. And she pronounces Ada as Aida. And I love that because I always used to pronounce it Aida, as in the opera, as in the play, the Broadway play, which is one of my favorite plays. Aida, Aida. I won't go there. But anyway, so I think it's really interesting that she calls it Aida instead of Ada. So I think that's interesting because to me that's how, and then I started saying Ada because everybody on Flosstube that I saw was calling it Ada. And so I think that that's a discussion worth having because I guess it doesn't matter what you call it, but I find that interesting. I find language and pronunciation interesting. Anyway, that's that tangent. Let's get back to the actual stitching things. Those are my whips for this week, for this time period. And now I will show you some haul. Okay, I'm adding some rambling, some things to talk about. So I wanted to show you some haul. Before I do that, I'd like to shout out to YouTube, Flosstube people that I found recently that I would love to mention. The first one is Janae Combs. She is a Flosstuber and what she would love to be part of, or she is part of the Flosstube community. And she has experienced some unkindness recently. I'm not here to preach, but you know what? We all share the love of cross stitch. Just be kind to one another. You know, I mean, it breaks my heart. I don't understand. Like, we're talking about cross stitch. How can we just... Anyway, please go watch Janae and give her some love and welcome her into the Flosstube community. She's a fairly new Flosstuber, I think. And she stitches a lot of the older Prim designs, which I know are very popular. And she is currently stitching something. She's stitching words 1/1 on 46 count. I can't imagine. So she's got some interesting things to show. And she's an interesting person. I think she's working on a degree, I think her master's degree. I don't remember, that was in her first video. But go check her out. She's Janae, Janae Combs, Combs. Yeah. And then the second Flosstuber I want to mention is Coco Cross Stitch, COCO Cross Stitch. I found her through a comment she left on someone else's Flosstube and discovered that she has beautiful finishes. She has some Christmas finishes that she recently showed that I was talking about earlier with like on the boards with the bows, and it's beautiful. She does a lovely job, and she's currently stitching some cute Christmas things. So go check her out, Coco Cross Stitch. So let's expand the Flosstube community. You know, if you would have told us that back in the 90s or the 80s even, that this would have been a thing now, I would have been like, I wouldn't have been able to wait. Every time I sit down with my stitching and I'm able to put on Flosstube, which isn't as often as I would like, but when I do, that's what I do instead of TV. You know, that's what I watch instead of, I don't really watch TV or go on whatever it is that people watch, but I'm just blown away, and it's grown so much. I didn't even realize I was one of, I think when I first came on Flosstube back in 2015, I was one of the earlier people, and I didn't realize that at the time. And it has just, in those 5 years, it has just exploded, and we've we've met some people that just really take to it great, and it's just so fun to watch. And so I just love it. It just gives me the warm fuzzies. And so I like to find new people to it and like promote them, because this is just such a wonderful community that is coming out. And I thank Stitch and May and all of those who were involved with her in the beginning of getting this going, because what a thing it has exploded into. And I can't wait to see how much more it goes over the next however many years. Amazing technology. So that is my little ramble, I guess, for right now. And that is kind of a segue too to say, and I've mentioned this before, that when I started on Flosstube in March of 2015, one of the first people to comment on my video was a YouTuber account by the name of Lindy Stitches. And it turned out we had a lot of things in common. She was not yet a Flosstuber, and I don't know that she was a designer yet. If she was designing, she wasn't. I don't think her patterns were readily available at that time, or talked about like they are now. But I remember her comment very well. She was homeschooling at that time, which I homeschool, and that just meant so much. And so Stephanie, I'm sure she doesn't remember me now, but she is near and dear to my heart, as she is to many of us. I mean, who doesn't love Stephanie? So that is a segue into saying that I did just recently order a bunch of things from her, and my New Year start for 2021, and I hope to make another video about that before the end of the year, before the beginning of the new year, is going to be Lindy Stitches. And I think I just mentioned that earlier when I showed the Cats Love Christmas, and I mentioned Lindy Stitches, and this is where the rambling comes in, right? And repeating myself. Did you ever see that picture of this is your brain, and then this is your brain with 3 kids? And there's eggs, and then there's scrambled eggs? That's me, the scrambled eggs. My brain is scrambled eggs. I kid you not. It's not even an exaggeration. Anyway, so I ordered stuff. I'm going to show stuff. And that's my point. Thank you for getting through if you've made it this far. So I ordered Evelyn scissor mouse, and these are actually not the right scissors. Stephanie sent scissors with them, which is amazing, and I didn't even expect that. That fit better and look better, but you get the idea. Evelyn scissor mouse. Is she not cute? This is from Lindy Stitches. And she holds scissors, and she's got a little spool of thread in her hands, and she's even got I'm sure if you watch Lindy Stitches, you saw her video about it, and she is just as cute as ever, and I just love her. And I would show you, I have all of my scissors fit in there, and like I said, some look better than others, but they work, they hold her. And then in no particular order, because that's how I roll, I got, okay, well I showed you the ornaments, the ornament that I started. I got the pom-pom trim to try to do the ornaments at some point in the future. And if you order from Lindy Stitches, you usually get this cute doodle on, which is fun. I love that. And also, I sent her a note, and she sent me 2, actually, of the sweetest videos. It made my day. I was so happy. These designers become like mini celebrities to us, don't they? So that's really exciting. Nobody else understood. I was telling somebody else about like, oh my gosh, like one of my favorite designers, like, blah, blah, blah. And they're just like, okay, like what's the big deal? It's a big deal to me. I ordered this pattern, which obviously I'm not going to start. Well, not obviously, but I'm not going to start this season. I'm going to make myself wait. Conveniently, when I ordered this pattern recently, I forgot to include the variegated thread. So maybe that was like maybe there was a reason that I did that. So can't start that as charted anyway. I ordered another pattern from eBay that is from a dimensions kit, but it's the chart only. So it was like $12, and I will use a DMC conversion for this. This is called Birch Point, and it's a Charles Wysocki painting. That's another thing that's really near and dear to me is the Dimensions Wysocki. I haven't stitched any yet, but when I learned how to cross stitch when I was 10, my aunt taught all of the girl cousins at this one time that all the family was together, the extended family, and she was stitching a Dimensions Wysocki piece, and it wasn't one of the kits, but it was one of the old Dimensions flyers, leaflets that they used to put out. I recently stumbled across some of those on Instagram. Somebody was showing, and the nostalgia. And I haven't been able to figure out which was the exact one she was stitching. I remember it was, well, I think most of his are by a coast, but or by water. I know it was a coastal kind of a scene, so I'm still looking for that. Funny story, it's funny to me anyway, I don't know. My cousin, who's the same age as I am, is 10, she was stitching a Charles Wysocki also, because she was a little more advanced than the rest of us at that age, because her mother stitcher. And I remember she came to me and she was like, I need this color and I can't find this color, and it's called It Blue. And we looked and what is It Blue? Because at that time, I'm sure her mother was going by the numbers, the DMC numbers, but for her daughter, she had labeled the, I think she had just written the color name and not the number when she kitted it up for her. Anyway, we looked and looked for It Blue, and we went to her mom, finally. I don't know what took us so long, and we can't find It Blue. And her mom was like, oh, that's light blue. That's LT. That's short for light blue. Oh, right. Of course, now, not much is just light blue anymore. You have so many DMC colors. It's like, like ultra light blue and medium light blue and everything in between. Here is my New Year's start. Mary, Mary Needleworker. How does your garden grow? I know a lot of you have seen this and started this. And when I saw this come out last spring, I knew that it was going to have to go in my stash. And because I feel like it has my name on it. I mean, it kind of does, doesn't it? So I got to stitch it. And I'm going to stitch the day version. I have the fabric on order as called for. I'll probably, no, actually, you know what? I already ordered all the Weeks Dye Works threads from Garan. So I've had those for a couple of months. So I finally got the chart from Stephanie, and I am going to start it, assuming that my fabric comes in. I ordered it from 123 Stitch, and they sent an order that I ordered after it, but they haven't sent that order yet. So hopefully I'll have that fabric. They're usually very fast, so I'm not too worried about that. So that's my New Year's start. I felt like I had more to show you, but it looks like, oh, and I picked this up off of eBay. It was $3 with free shipping. So it's a Dimensions ornament kit with the plastic canvas and all the colors and everything. So I thought that was pretty cute. So that's my Flosstube for now, and I hope to come back to you in a couple of weeks still and show you, a wrap up of the Christmas stitching, and then talk about the new year a little bit. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to get my daughter because she wanted to show something. Just take a couple of minutes, and then I'll let you go. So see you in a second.
Hello.
This is Panda Stitcher. She has a Flosstube also, and yeah. Ooh, look! I got the Christmas glow. My camera is not like doing the light thing.
It's like low, but the camera's low. But this actually matches with the lights. But yeah, go check me out after this video. Subscribe to my mom. Put a big thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna put a big thumbs up and click the notification on both of these videos. I mean, this video and my video. But anyway, I made 2 other videos if you're subscribed to that there. But anyway, so yeah, I've been making a cross stitch, but the thing was what happened was this matches the lights. But what happened was I stitched a cross stitch piece, like an ornament and a lollipop, as you can see, for our Christmas one. Yeah. So it said Merry Christmas, but one of the things I found funny is my mom's name is Mary, and it says Christmas. So, like, mom's name, like, Merry Christmas. like Merry Christmas. So I thought that was funny. But a lot of them said Merry Christmas. But
Do you remember, don't kick that, do you remember the name of the pattern and the designer? So it's called Merry Christmas, I think, right?
Okay.
And the designer is Stitch Rovia on Etsy. Okay, Stitch Rovia.
Yeah.
So tell them what happened with the piece.
So what happened was I stitched it, and then when we took it off the Q-snap, I can't talk tonight. My mom noticed that she told me to put it in the wrong direction, so she's pulling it out and then she's restitching it again for me.
And that's my fault. Somehow I oriented it wrong on the Q-snap.
And guess what? It probably took me like a week.
Yeah, it was a lot of stitching time for her. So I'm pulling this out and I restarted this. And I will mention that I had something happen that I have never had happen before. I don't think I've ever had happen. And that is when I was stitching this is DMC 964, which is a relatively new color. I had used that same skein on my Mirabilia Garden Prelude, the violinist lady with the blue dress. And it's the same skein. I was stitching along and I thought, are you done? All right. I was stitching along and I came along this darker thread and I thought, oh no, I picked up another thread somehow and it got tangled in. And so I picked it out and I tried to undo it. Looking along the skein, and I should have brought it in here and shown, lo and behold, the skein has the dye on it like that. So it's the aqua color, but there's a couple places, and there's still some more, where there's a darker teal. Never seen that in DMC. Have you? And actually, what's cool about this is it actually works in this ornament because it's gradient. It's a gradient. I don't know how to put that into the proper verb, but it's gradiated. It's a gradient. And so it's going to get darker. And so we looked at it, she and I looked at it, and we decided it looks actually very pretty like that. And so we're going to leave it. And the rest of this piece is a solid aqua. So it'll make it unique. And I thought that was kind of cool. So that's a first for me. I'd like to know if anybody else has ever seen that in DMC before. So anyway, so that's it. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you again, hopefully in a few weeks. Happy stitching. Bye, guys.